morning, everyone. Looking out, it reminds me of church. There's no one in the pew. Everybody's sitting in the back. We are delighted to have you with us this morning. My job this morning is to talk about angel investing in a general sense. So I'm going to share some data with you about what's going on from a national scene for angel investing. We'll drill down to what's happening here in the state of Ohio, and then I'll share with you some information about what specifically is going on in Cincinnati in our region and with our local angel group, which is obviously the Queen City Angels. Before I, and Scott, is there a, can I drive the slides?
I'm trying to see if we can do it. I'll drive for you.
This is not working.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be working. I'll drive for you.
Next slide. What you're looking at, I want to share with you a personal story about angel investing before we get into the main part of the presentation. What you're looking at is a corner in the basement of my house. And you see a box here that was designed by a company in Israel. And I'll give you a little bit more information in a moment about how I found out about this deal. But the pipes that you see on the left are pipes that are coming from the HVAC system, delivering air from the house into this unit. The unit is designed to take the moisture out of the air, deliver the air back to the HVAC system, and so when the system actually cools the air, you can run your house at maybe 75 or 76 or 77 and feel as comfortable as if you were running your temperature at 72 or 73. So it's pretty easy to see the economics of that type of deal, correct? So a little bit more information about this deal. It, like a lot of angel deals, it was introduced to me by a former board member of the company, the last company that I started and ran. This guy was the chairman of the company and had a lot of experience in the HVAC industry, was really excited about the technology, and had indicated that this was a patented product. The way the product came about was they ran a series of ice rinks in Israel, and they were interested in reducing the energy costs required to run the ice rinks. So they came up with this technology. Once they had it perfected for the ice rink, then they decided to try the market for commercial applications. And so they patented the product, set up a worldwide distribution channel, had some big global sales going, had lots of organizations, including companies like Wendy's here in the U.S., using the product. They had raised several $1 million in startup capital, so no issues, right? So what happened? Well, in this deal, at the time that they were rolling out the product, launching the product, there was a lot of tension in the Middle East. So sales reps didn't want to travel for sales training, which hurt their ability to go sell the product in the marketplace. One of the most serious problems was reliability issues. And thank goodness when you looked at that section in my basement where I installed a unit, we had the foresight to install a smoke detection. Because about a month or two after it was installed, one night about 2 in the morning, the smoke alarm went off. The unit had caught fire because of one of these reliability issues. So that was kind of a common theme, and because of those issues, that accelerated the cash burn in the company. We had a CEO that was uncoachable, didn't want to listen to input from the board, ways to solve the problem, and therefore, like a lot of these deals, we ran out of money, and hence it became one of those famous tax write-offs that you hear so often about in this space. And so it made me look like this dog. I'm not sure how that dog got wedged between the two tree trunks, but it made me feel like this dog. And what I learned from that whole process was if I was going to continue to do angel investing, I really needed a process and a team of people around me to help me better vet the deals, and hence the formation of the Queen City Angels. So in this session, we're going to talk, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, about the overview of, we're giving an overview of angel investing, both at a national level and a local level. We're going to talk about the need in the marketplace for seed capital and how angel capital fits in the whole continuum of capital that's required for startup companies through to a successful operation. We'll talk a little bit about the formation and status of the Queen City Angels, and throughout the session, we'll share with you some of the lessons learned about angel investing. Next slide. So where did this term angel investing come from? This is a term that, actually the term's only been around since about the 1900s, but angel investing has been around since the beginning of time. And it came about because a lot of people were developing plays for Broadway in New York. They had people that were funding these plays, and they became known as angel investors, and hence the term today. But if you look at it today, it's a technical term as defined by the SEC. There are financial requirements that qualify you as an accredited investor. In the U.S., these are known as angel investors, and in the U.K., they're known as business angels. And generally, the technical definition is $1 million in net assets, less the amount that you have in your house, so it doesn't include your home, and or if you've made $200,000 a year for the last 2 years, with the high probability that you're going to make $200,000 in the current year. So technically, that's the definition, but there's a lot of work being done at the SEC now to revisit this definition. So expect some changes as we go forward in terms of people that can actually do angel investing. This is a Boston diagram that talks a little bit about the types of angels, those with relevant entrepreneurial experience on the x-axis. On the y-axis, we talk about relevant industry experience. A optimal angel would be in that upper right corner, a guardian angel. It's someone who has a lot of entrepreneurial experience coupled with a lot of industry experience. And we do find most of the angels are probably in that upper left, operational expertise. Means they have strong industry background, but perhaps not so much entrepreneurial experience. Or down in that lower right, where they're professional entrepreneur angels. They have a lot of entrepreneurial history on their resume, and in some cases, not a lot of specific industry experience in companies that they're investing in. So all this wrapped up becomes angel capital, and it's capital that is used for to seed a company or to invest in an early stage of a company. And as I mentioned, it's capital that's primarily provided by individual investors. And if you look at the amount of capital that angels invest today through the friends and family round, and I'll have some more data on this in just a moment, it's about $50 billion annually that's invested in startup companies. A lot of that comes from friends and family, and it's unsophisticated money. We could talk a whole lot about the pros and cons of taking that type of money. But as I indicated a moment ago, we're really looking for those angels that are accredited investors to invest in the kinds of high growth opportunities that we focus on. So this diagram basically walks you through the initial concept or discovery of the idea and where different types of funding fits in. You can see over on the left, it's founder and friends and family that are funding those people that are working in their garage or basement. They've got a basic idea. They're trying to vet the idea in the marketplace, so you get some friends and family funding to do that. By the time they've got a value proposition defined for the product or service that they're offering, they've worked out some of the bugs, they're taking that product to the marketplace, then that's where individual angels or angel groups start to participate in the ecosystem. As they start to get customers and bring on a more complete management team, we see seed funds start to play at that level. And then by the time they get out to the point that they are looking for capital to really expand the business, where the business has been significantly de-risked, that's when venture capitalists play in the marketplace.
Question.
Yes.
Can we do that now?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, absolutely.
So on your previous diagram, are there actual objectives, measures for those individual points in time that are universally acceptable?
I think it's on a deal-by-deal basis. So what we're really looking for is when a company presents or comes to us or any investment group, we're looking for a measurable set of objectives. If they hit those objectives, then they position the company to get the next round of capital. So if it's a digital commerce company, that could be a different set of criteria than if it's a life science company. Most life science companies that we would invest in would probably never get to actual revenue, whereas a digital commerce company, we would expect them to get to revenue fairly quickly. So that whole set of expectations for what they hit with that initial round will depend on the type of company and the type of industry that we're investing in. Make sense? So I've put some numbers on what the investment amounts are for each of these buckets, and depending on the investment group that you chat with, perhaps these vary a little. With friends and family, typically a few tens of thousands, maybe up to 150,000. Angel investor groups, up until probably 2008 or so, you typically see angel investor groups, and you'll see some more data on this in just a moment, investing $250,000 to $500,000 of capital in a company before the VCs would come in. After 2008, where we had a significant drop-off in the number of VCs, and especially those VCs that were focused on the seed capital rounds, we started to see angels syndicating, and you'll hear more about this throughout the day, to put together larger rounds of capital. So it's not unusual today for a angel capital group to invest $1 million, $1.5 million, perhaps $2 million before the company has hit enough key milestones that they're venture capital ready. Or perhaps they are ready for a merger and acquisition transaction. And then the VCs pop in at 2,000. This little diagram in the lower left indicates with the red line that we're trying to de-risk a company at each stage. So to get back to your question, as we move up the food chain with those other types of capital, they're looking at how much that company has been de-risked, how well they have hit the milestones that they promised with each round of capital. And then, of course, we hope that sales start to kick in, because that can be a form of non-dilutive capital to help provide the overall capital base that the company needs. I know you can't see it on this diagram, but perhaps you can in your book. But what we're trying to avoid in that first diagram is the dead, the ones that died. But you'll see some data in just a moment. That's about 50% of the deals that we invest in the angel space, or the walking dead, where they just need round after round of capital, but can never get enough inertia in the marketplace to bring in a VC or perhaps have a successful M&A transaction. So those are the kinds of things that we're attempting to avoid.
Tony, what's going on in the right part of the chart over there, the yellow, that is difficult to see in the global or on the chart?
Yeah, if you what we're showing here from startup to acquired or an IPO, and most of these companies are going to be in the acquired bucket. One or two perhaps will make it to the IPO stage. But what I said a moment ago is what we're trying to do is avoid this, where this arrow here, where they've spent all the capital but didn't hit enough milestones to raise another round of capital, therefore they're tax write-offs, or they continue to hit just enough of the milestones to keep investors interested in the deal. So we keep writing a check after check, but essentially those are the kind of walking dead kinds of companies, because they can't get to a point that they've hit enough critical mass to raise a bigger round of capital. Are you driving, John?
I guess so.
I can move over and drive if you want.
Ready to go?
Yeah, ready to go. Thank you.
Hey, Tony.
Next slide.
Hey, Tony.
You're going the other way. Yes.
You didn't mention on the upside, I guess if a company wants to buy you out later, how do you feel about that kind of scenario? You have IPO, acquisition, and then simply company buyback or something like that. What are your thoughts on that?
In most cases, that doesn't work, and you'll see some data in just a moment to indicate why that doesn't work. It's around the economics of the deal. So if you look at it on a risk-adjusted basis for the money that we need out of the deal, these buybacks typically don't work. They only work in the case where the company is just teetering along. It's never going to become a significant opportunity. Perhaps the owners come back and say, we'll give you your money back, maybe a 5% interest or whatever the number is, making something up. But it becomes pretty obvious that it's not going to be a high-growth enterprise and therefore attract bigger rounds of capital on a go-forward basis.
So buyback is one of the down scenarios.
That would be a down scenario. But it does beat the write-off scenario. So it is a positive. Yes?
What kind of returns do you see angels look more? Because I've heard earlier VCs are like a 10x returns with it, because they're going to miss, that 500% or whatever. What kind of return are they
As much as we can earn. Tongue in cheek. But if you'll wait just a moment, I've got a slide where we talk about that, and we'll give you some more detail about that.